for joining me for a little yoga, hands-free today. Feel free to set up your space how you like it. Maybe set up some tunes, open up the windows so you can hear nature. Maybe even just turning on a nice loud fan so you can hear that repetitive sound. I like to light a little incense, move it around my space, getting smelling real good. Light some candles, creating a little ambiance for yourself. Um, I like to look at yoga as not only a time to work my body, but kind of step away from the world and take a moment for the self. So I welcome you to do so as well. And for today's class, you can have some props. If you'd like to bring a block or a chair, feel free to do so. Neither are required, but they can help, especially if you are dealing with some pain or a little bit restricted in your movement. So we're going to start by finding ourselves in any comfortable seated position. So feel free to just sit down in a chair. You can sit on the shins, cross your legs, just whatever seated position feels good today. Just going to start to let those eyes fall closed. Let ourselves come into the moment. If you need to do a little bit of a rock or a little shake to get out any anxiety or movement in the body, so we can find ourselves on the way to some stillness. Bring your attention within. Checking in with ourselves. Noticing how we're feeling today. We're going to start to bring our attention to our breath. As we inhale, feeling the cool air enter the nostrils, flow down the throat, and fill up the lungs. Each exhale, gently pressing the air out of the lungs, out the throat. Warm air exits the nostrils. Without trying to alter or change our breath, noticing where it's at today. Is it deep or shallow? Long or short? On our next inhale, let's try to sit up nice and tall, pulling up through that crown. And then on an exhale, start to slide those shoulders down the back. Relaxing through the face, the belly, arms and legs, and still keeping that length through our spine. Let's go ahead, take those hands and bring them up to heart center. The palms gently pressing into one another, activating through those arms. Taking a full breath in. As we exhale, letting the head fall down towards the hands. Of course, if this does not feel good on the wrist, release that pressure. And keep the hands in the lap. Just feeling the weight of gravity pulling the head down towards the chest. Don't need to force it here. It's where it would naturally fall. Let's go ahead, take that gaze and slide it over that right shoulder. Feel free to keep your eyes closed as much as you'd like during this class. And open them whenever you'd like. Take that gaze back down through the chest and then right over that left shoulder. You don't need to push it too hard. We're still early, waking up the body. Letting ourselves have a breath here. And we'll bring it down through center. Start to bring that gaze up to neutral. And if it feels good, we'll start to lift that chin up to the sky. If you have any neck issues, feel free to just keep that gaze forward. Just find a slight tilt to that chin. And that chin comes back down. Let's start to take those shoulders up towards the ears, rolling them backwards, sliding those shoulder blades down the back. Kind of ease through those arms, slow and steady, making nice, large circles. We'll take those shoulders the opposite direction. Nice, slow, control. I'm not trying to rush through this class. I'm not trying to get each position over. I'm trying to feel each movement as we experience it. Relaxing those shoulders back down. At any point you need to change those legs, feel free to do so. So I'm going to switch to cross-legged position. If you ever need to just stick those legs out straight, stand up for a second, sit back down. It's whatever you need to do for your body today. We'll take those hands, we're going to inhale up to the sky. And then we'll exhale those arms back down. Inhale, arms up. If you'd like, you can take the gaze with the hands as we exhale it back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale those arms up one more time. This time, let's reach those fingers up as far as they can reach. The belly button still pulling into the spine. And then we're going to let those elbows fall out wide to the side. Reach up towards the sky. Elbows fall down. Reach up towards the sky. Reaching those elbows on down. This time we're going to press those forearms towards one another. Lift those elbows up maybe just a little bit. We'll bring those arms back out wide. take those fingertips and we're going to start to pull them towards the earth. And feel free to stop wherever we need to, so we can stop with those arms parallel, or those fingers start to dip towards the earth. Be careful with those shoulders here. And pulling it back up to the sky. Reaching those hands up. Go ahead and take those left fingertips and we're going to bring them all the way down to the earth. Those right fingertips reaching far all the way over, creating a nice big stretch down that side body. You want to keep that right hip connected to the earth and that shoulder nice and open. So it's not about getting to the floor. It's about finding a nice open shoulder and side stretch here. For some people, you may bring it down to the forearm. And if you'd like, you can even take that gaze up towards the sky. One more big breath. Take those hands up towards the sky. And we're going to bring our hands down to our knees. Taking that back, we're going to arch that spine towards the back of the room. That chin coming towards the chest. And we're going to press that belly, chest forward, lifting through that chin. Exhaling, arching that spine. Inhaling, reaching that chest, chin forward, strong and proud. One more time, we'll arch that spine back towards the back of the room. And lifting that chest towards the sky. Bring that spine back to neutral. Inhale those hands up. Find a nice big reach. That right hand comes down this time. Those left fingertips reach over towards the side. Again, making sure we have a nice open top shoulder here. That left hip keeping connection to the earth. And if it feels good, feel free to take that gaze up underneath the arm. Relaxing through that face. Go ahead, bring it on up towards the sky. Those hands come on down towards the knees. We're going to do a little lion's breath here. So relaxing the face completely. Maybe closing the eyes if we're comfortable. Taking a nice full breath in. As we exhale, the eyes go wide and the tongue sticks out as the mouth stretches wide. Another inhale in. Go ahead and relax through the face. It's meant to energize the body. Find a little movement through those eye sockets and mouth. We don't often find in our yoga practice or in our day-to-day life. And bring those eyes back open. We're going to look all the way over towards the left. All the way towards the right. Take it up towards the sky. And down to the earth. Bring those hands back to our knees. undo those knees if we are in a seated position. If you're in the chair, then you are already set up for this guy. We want our knees spread wide, so those feet are a little bit wider than hip distance or hip distance if that's what feels good for you today. We're going to start by arching that spine back towards the back in that cow pose. We're going to pull it towards the left and then bring that chest forward, over towards the right, and bring it towards the back. So we're making some little chest circles. Some of these only need to be as deep as feels good. And of course, we don't have to put any pressure on those hands and wrists. Making sure we have control here. It's going to be way easier in a seat with some back support. And let's take it the opposite direction. Also, if this is difficult with the knees up, feel free to take it to the knees inversion. It'll bring the spine more vertical and it will be easier to do. This is just a little bit more of a ab workout, takes a little bit more control. Go ahead and bring it back to center. So we're going to lift one foot up off the mat. Feel free to use the support of your hands and wrists. Either grab under with the opposite elbow. If you really are worried about those wrists, you can put the hands down or come on to your forearms just to lift that foot up and give it a little twist. Taking it one direction and then the other. So let's find a little point and flex through that foot. Let's try to get those toes in there. So think about pressing the foot, then pressing through the arch, and then releasing the toes. As we come back with curled toes, and then stretch them out at the end. So it's as if we were moving those feet through mud. Awesome. Go ahead and trade legs. We'll take that right foot this time, finding a little movement in both directions. And then again, we're going to go into that point and flex. Again, as if we're moving that foot slowly through some thick mud. Beautiful. Bring that foot on down. And we're going to go ahead and bring it up to standing. However you need to do so. So if you're in your chair, we can bring it up to standing as well. I'm going to start by taking those hips, where those feet, hips width apart. We're just going to find a little pedal here. Let's kind of find a little warmth through those legs, a little more active as we move into standing. Now we can take those arms up towards the sky as we pedal those feet. This is messing with your balance. We can stick with just the feet, or we can just take them out and in. It's always good to challenge ourselves, keeping that belly button pulled in. And we'll bring those arms down, those feet to stillness. If we're not already at the top of the mat, we can bring ourselves there. We're going to start to let that belly sink down towards the floor. No rush here. Just slowly guiding those hands towards the feet. Have some nice ease through those knees, nice bend in the legs. Making sure that weight is evenly distributed between all four corners of the feet. We can just let that head hang nice and heavy here. And for some of us, this may be up here, but we want to aim to bring that belly down to the thighs, and you can really bend into those legs if we need to. Trying to find some ease through those heads, shoulders. Maybe even shaking it out if it feels good.
those hands. We're going to start to slide them up the legs as we straighten through those legs, reaching through the top of our crown. I'm going to pull those shoulders back towards our hips. That's belly button's pulled in. Nice tight core. Ribs are pulled in tight. And again, the weight is evenly distributed between all four corners of the feet. You should be able to lift those toes up. We're going to start to lower it back down, bending back into those knees. Gliding those hands back up, coming into that flat back. And we may need to be up higher. Some people may come lower. It is up to you. Just try not to put any pressure on our knees. And lowering it back to the ground. Let's move with a little bit more of a flow for a couple of these. So coming up, nice flat back on an inhale, and then exhaling it towards the floor. Inhaling it up. Exhaling it down towards the floor. Inhaling up. One more time, nice flat back. If you want a little challenge, feel free to take those hands, palms towards the sky, up by those hips. Nice strong shoulders, nice tight core. Taking those hands back down to the legs, bending into those knees. And we'll take those hands all the way up towards the sky. Bringing those hands down through hearts. We're going to take that right foot. We're going to just cross it, across the other foot. And of course, if it feels too much to have the wrists up and bent like this, you can always bring them down by the sides and take them out to the side for balance if we need it. Now, the farther the foot is forward, a little less intense it's going to be. The closer the feet are together, the more intense it's going to be. Have a nice neutral pelvis here. Pull up through that chest. Take those shoulders back and down. With a nice tight core, nice flat back. We're going to start to fold it forward until we start to feel a stretch in those hips. And we may just go down a couple of inches. Some people may go down a foot or two. So we'll take a nice big stretch into that back left hip, down through that leg. Tight core brings us on up. Gently releasing those feet. Take it on a little walk. And we'll trade sides. That left foot comes across. Nice neutral pelvis. Taking those shoulders down the back. Hold in belly button. Nice flat back. Come to the side this time. It's flat back as we fold it on over. And feeling that stretch in that back hip. Nice tight core brings us all the way back up. We're going to release that left foot. Take it for a walk. From here, we'll take those feet back, hips width apart. Taking that left foot, we're going to step it all the way back on our mat. Turning those toes to the side, lining that front heel with our back arch, bending into that front knee, bringing out over that second toe. You want to have that nice neutral pelvis, that belly button pulled in, ribs pulled in, pressing into the back half of that foot. Nice and strong through that leg, that front knee, staying over that ankle. And then take those arms out wide. Reaching through both sets of fingers. You want to think about having those shoulders directly over those hips. Like looking at it, staying in the present, not falling into the past. Or reaching into the future. Just settling right where we are. Of course, the wider you take those feet, the more intense this is going to be for you. Squeezing those glutes. keep the gaze to the side or take it out of that front finger. Just a few more breaths, maybe grounding down through that leg a little more. Awesome. We can start to straighten through that front leg. We'll turn those toes to meet the others. Both toes are pointing forward. Taking those hands to those hips. I'm going to start to fold it forward. Let this head fall down towards the earth. And then bring it back up with a nice, tight core. Awesome. Let's bring those heels in, so those toes point at the corners of our mat. Bring our hands to our waist. We're going to bend into both of those knees. The deeper you go, the more intense it will be. You can just simply find a little tiny bend here. And keep those knees wide, tracking over those second toes. Nice lifted chest. Trying to keep ourselves from folding forward. Maybe sinking this a little deeper. Or stand all the way back up. Now we're going to take those toes out towards the left. Bring the back side of that right foot to the back of the mat. Bending into that left knee. Again, finding that alignment. Front heel, back arch. Neutral pelvis here, strong through those legs. That front knee tracking out over that second toe. And that knee right over that ankle. Reaching forward, reaching back. Keeping ourselves nice and centered here. Just taking a moment to return back to our breath. If you'd like to challenge your balance, this is a good one to try to close those eyes for. Feel free to take the gaze out of that front finger. For 3, 2, 1. Awesome. We can bring that leg back forward, both toes pointing towards the front. We're going to heel toe those feet together. Go ahead and walk it out a couple of times. Let's go ahead and take those hands all the way up towards the sky. My frame is small for my tall body, so I'm going to change it up. Imagine you are standing. Feel free to sit down though if that is your preference right now. We want to keep a nice neutral pelvis. Those shoulders sinking down. Let's bring those palms together, making a little finger gun pointing towards the sky. And we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, falling out towards the left. Inhale up through center. Exhale over towards the right. Inhaling up. Over towards the left. And feel free to gaze up as we go to the side, towards the ceiling. And exhale towards the right. And of course, if this is too much for the hands, we can just keep the hands together. Bringing it on back up through center. And let those hands fall towards the chest. From here, we're going to go ahead and bring it back to our seated position. Oh, yeah. Awesome. From here, I'm going to take that right leg, we'll extend it out nice and long here. Bending into this left knee, sit up nice and tall. If you'd like, feel free to sit up on a block. It can help to keep those legs out straight. We still feel good here. We can always take this leg and try crossing it across. And if we can still keep that tallness, this is the version we'll go with. Otherwise, we can keep our foot on this side. We're going to take our knee into that right hand. Left fingertips come back behind the body. Always grip with that elbow. And you You don't have to put the hand on the ground, so the hand could just rest by the hip and gently look over. If you don't have the hand support, make sure we're sitting up nice and tall here. And you can always walk that foot a little bit farther away from the hip and make it look easier to lean forward. Go ahead and bring it back through center. That left leg coming out long. We're going to bring ourselves up onto those sits bones. Those legs out long in front of us. For some of us, it might be easier if you spread the legs a little bit, especially as you fold forward. If you have a little bit of a belly or if you're pregnant, it does make a little space for the belly. So let's sit up nice and tall here. Squeeze those glutes. We'll exhale forward. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, bring it folding forward. One more time. Folding out over those legs. Let's try to keep a nice long spine here. We're going to hold this position. Finding ease with the face and the shoulders. Maybe finding that the breath brings us a little closer to those legs. Each and every time we exhale. Go ahead, bring it on back up to seated. We'll bend into the right knee this time, keeping that left leg long. Grabbing onto that knee, we'll sit up nice and tall. Running a few breaths here. If we like, we did so on the other side. Feel free to cross that foot over. We'll switch that grip into that left elbow and take that right hand behind us. And it can just sit by the hip if it needs to. And the gaze can either stay forward, go to the side, or towards the back of the room. Keep long through that spine wherever we're at. Bring that foot back on forward. Bend into both knees. Bring it on back to our backs. Letting ourselves have a moment. Feeling that connection of the back, the shoulders, the head, and the feet, the hard, supportive floor below you. Go ahead and take those knees and start to draw them in towards the chest. Feel free to use the hands to help pull those legs gently towards the body. Slide those hands down to our knees. Gently pressing those knees forward, out to the side, and then back towards the center. So making some little egg beaters on the ceiling. You can do this hands free as well. And then we'll take it the opposite direction. Bring those knees into center. Let's go ahead and take both those feet up to the sky. This one is going to be easier if we have them bend in those knees. It can also be easier if you place a block under those lower hips. Let's find a little point and flex. Get a couple circles with those ankles. We'll pull those knees in and up towards the sky. Bringing them in and up towards the sky. And your feet extending towards the sky does not have to be extended legs. This could be knees in, this could be knees out. It's just whatever your body needs today. One more kick up. Those knees will come in. Feet can come down to the floor. Walk those hips over towards the right so those knees can fall towards the left. If you'd like, you can take that right arm out towards the side. Your gaze can either remain on the ceiling or feel free to take it towards the right with that arm. By adding that arm and neck, you're creating a nice full twist in that spine. But if it feels better, of course, keep that gaze and shoulder center. Try to find some ease through the body in this position. Making sure we're not holding tension in any piece of our body. Whenever we're ready, start to bring the gaze and the arm back in if they were out. And start to bring those knees up towards the sky. Those hips walk back through center. And give those knees one more little hug. Driving those feet to the floor, hips walk towards the left. Let those knees fall down towards the right. We can take that left arm out long if we'd like. Okay, right. Hands can come to rest on the belly. Our hands up, out to the side. Free to pull the glutes out from underneath us. Be tucking the shoulders underneath the body. Starting to relax our face. Letting our eyes fall closed if we haven't already done so. Nice full breath in. Long, steady breath out. Nice full breath in. And slow exhale out. More big inhale in. As we exhale, we sink deeper and deeper into our mat.
Relaxing through the toes, the feet and the ankles. Relaxing the shins, the calves, and the knees. Releasing tension from the thighs, the hips, and the glutes. Leaving any tension in the lower back and belly, the mid back and ribs, and the upper back and the chest. Relaxing the shoulders, the arms, the wrists, the hands, and the fingers. Relaxing through the neck, the jaw, face and scalp. Begin to make your way back to the mat. Wiggling fingers and toes. And the head fall from side to side. Let ourselves start to bend those knees. Taking a nice full breath in. And a full breath out. Gently letting those knees fall to one side. We can use our arms to help support our head. And then, at your own pace, just gently bring it back to seated. With the eyes closed, we bring the ease and tranquility of Shavasana into our waking and moving state. Lengthening through the spine. Taking our hands to the heart if it feels okay. Keeping the hands on the knees. And the head fall back towards the hands. And sending yourself a little love and gratitude. Carving this time out of your day to take care of your body and your mind. If you'd like to join me, taking those hands all the way up to the sky, palms come together, bringing the hands to the forehead or third eye. May you always think in love. Hands to the lips. May you always speak in love. Hands to the heart. May you always